All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Friday morning, August 6th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern time, and welcome on back here for our morning meeting. Of course, I am not Fausto. If you're joining us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back either way. My name is Josh Levitan, Fausto Senior Instructor. You may be familiar with myself here in the afternoons, but nonetheless, great to see all of us live inside the trading room. Larry, Donald, Bonnie, Grant, Leda, got Ray, Wayne, Doyle. I saw Wayne pick up some money early this morning on the ANY trade. We actually had a pretty active pre-market. Just took a little while to get the gears going. So let's talk about that to begin. We actually also had a pretty good day yesterday. So we'll recap the day that was yesterday, at least from that point. And then we'll go from top to bottom, as always. So, right now, Fausto's actually spending a bit of time with family. I know that he ended up taking his son to Legoland this morning. I think that's the new one out in New York City. Be a little honest, I'm a little disappointed I didn't get the invite, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm totally teasing there. I'm a kid at heart, but I think I'm a little past the point to be playing around with Legos, but he'll be having a fun day with family, and that's what we all strive for here as day traders, at least, to make your days pay, to finish up early, and that's it. Do whatever you need to do. Spend time with family, take care of work, enjoy life either way. So for right now, ANY, you could have made your days pay on this stock here, at least in pre-market. Took a little while, like I'd said, and let me just zoom out here on the 1 minute chart to go over that, but 5 minutes. There we go. So pre-market was slow this morning, like 7:30. This was already tanking, dropping off. It wasn't presenting really any buying opportunity. A lot of other stocks were kind of doing the same thing. And even after 8 o'clock, there was not really a whole lot out there. I was making minimal call outs at that point. But this ANY trade, it was holding under 5 pretty nicely here in pre-market after 8. Some like spikes up, dark pool spikes up here perhaps, but generally holding under 5. Ended up making the push up a little bit later on. Held right around 480, pushed back up, and once it broke over 5, I know a couple of us just jumped in and out pretty quickly for about 10, 12, 13 cents, and now more here if you're still holding on. So the ANY trade, easily enough, we'll put on our watch list for the market open. I'm pretty familiar with this stock, as are probably a few of us inside Cyber Group. We've traded the stock on and off. Just you could even see probably just dating back to June time here. Early June, popped and ran up from seemingly 225 up towards just about 360-ish, 375 here. But just over the years, you're just familiar with the stock based off its moves up and down over the years. So we've seen the stock pop up and run across the day. We've seen the stock come out with news in pre-market and then dump off after. So it could be one or either, so this stock right now definitely will put on our watch list for the open. And what I do like about it more than anything, it makes it just a tradable stock. The liquidity, how tight the spread is, just very filled in order book, even here in pre-market, trading 12 million shares. So hopefully there's a lot more left to the ANY trade. All right, the other stock, though, that I wanted to jump to really quickly, and it was one that I'd called out shortly after 8:30. I logged inside the trading room right at 8:30, and I said, I didn't really miss much, thankfully, at the time. But stock ended up kind of beginning to push up slowly and steadily, and I was saying, hey, this MVST trade, like the spreads weren't terrible. The order book, you can see, is a lot thinner compared to the ANY, but this stock ended up holding pretty nicely around 1220, 1225. I said, this could be interesting. Now, that's not the reason why it moved up. The reason why it moved up is because we ended up seeing big orders on the bid pop up. And from that point, thankfully, they didn't get filled because, if so, that would lead to a bit of a drop off. And, between the orders on the bid popping up and the orders on the ask simultaneously getting filled, that's what led to this stock running up. And just to explain what I mean there, really, I'll bring up level 4 just to show. All right, so you can see here, this order popped up as this was kind of pinning itself underneath 1220-ish, 1225. And from that point, that's what I'd called out. There's actually 2. One right here that's like even smaller, popped up just very intermittently. And then this one here. So just over time, you can see the pattern. And if you're joining me on the morning meeting for the first time, or if you've seen Fausto perhaps previously over the last week, there was a stock MOXC that we ended up seeing a very similar pattern with this on, where they ended up squeezing this stock up, or a stock like this, the MOXC stock that is, up and up and up, had these big orders on the bid popping up and pushing up. So long as they don't get filled, so long as they don't completely get filled, then we're in the clear. Looks like one got filled here, and I was a little concerned at the time, but this one held. It pushed up, broke over 1250, and, well, you can see what happens here. It's actually very Well, you might not be able to. Pretty tiny. So order on the bid popped up. It ended up getting pulled from what appears to be 1234, and it moved up towards 1260-ish. But once this order got filled and there was no support to catch it, that's what led to the drop-off. So it's very similar in relation to that trade from like a week ago, week and a half ago, the MOXC stock that Fausto showed in the morning meeting. You could probably go back on our YouTube channel just for that being youtube.com/cybertradingyou. I know a lot of us are joining us live right now there, but if you're on Facebook, go right to our YouTube channel. We have all of our recordings of our morning meetings, and that's listed right there, probably like on the top. All right, so hey, MVST right now, it's pulling back down. I still like the spread. I still like the volatility. I don't know what the news is. I'm going to guess it's going to be earnings. Just double check here. All right, so MicroVast, not to be confused with Microvision, MVIS, and we'll talk about that coming up, I'm sure. But MVST sees high Wall Street bets interest as the stock surges 20%. So I don't think there's any like news or fundamental news as to why the stock's moving up. It's more or less just seeing like interest from Reddit, meme stock. You call it with like AMC, MVIS, BlackBerry, all those others. So it's just that I'm unfamiliar with this trade. I've never really traded the stock, at least over the last year and a half. It looks like it had a couple of big volume days here. Maybe we did call it out, and I just don't remember. But either way, hey, I'll put this on our list, and I'm keen to trade this. So MVST will join the ANY so far. All right. So those were the two big ones that we ended up trading in pre-market this morning. It's just, things could be slow at times here in the summer. It's a Friday anyway, and, there's not a whole lot really out there in relation to news compared to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the hump days of the week. So you just have to kind of wait a little bit, be a little patient, but not just be patient and just chit chat. You got to scan. You got to scan around and see what's out there. And once there's a good call out in the chat board, hey, big iceberg orders on the bid for MVST. If there's nothing else out there, then you got to give it a chance. You can't set a stop here in pre-market, but, at least take a tiny position, manage it very conservatively. And thankfully on this type of trade, it ended up leading to a nice push, and a few of us were able to take advantage of it. So, otherwise from the ANY and the MVST here, let's see what else we got here going into the market open. For any of the stocks we ended up trading yesterday, we'll go over those pretty briefly if we end up running through them across the gainers or losers list, or if they're pretty active. Otherwise, we'll check them out at the end. All right. So the ANY we talked about, that's the top percent gainer so far. This KXIN trade since 8:30 has been a drag, but slowly beginning to push up. Higher highs and hopefully a higher low building here off the VWAP pre-market so far. Order on the bid right now at 208, 37,000 share order on the bid. And then from there, 2. It's got a pretty liquid book, though, so it's similar to the ANY, just not as fast. All right, cool. So the KXIN we'll definitely put on our list here. I got switch, I don't know, kind of low volume on these. MVST has warrants, skip over those, just interesting. All right, so we'll see what else we got. The BEST trade best ended up making a bit of a pop early in pre-market here, and then just kind of dumped off. I mean, it's almost like watching the grass grow here at this point. So, I don't know. I'm not really as particular about this one just yet. All right, there we go. So WPRT, see if we can keep going. See, again, this was a stock in pre-market that Fausto put on the pre-market list, and things were looking pretty interesting. But, it started to flatten out, and then only from there, the volume just kind of died off. And, I mean, right now, the stock's just beginning to break lower now. So maybe it could be a good trade after the open. I don't mind slipping this on our list. It's not like the order book is too filled in or too thin. Pretty good. Maybe put this on the bottom of our watch list at the end of it all. All right, so this will be for fun. I mean, I'm not going to put this on our list. This XCNT, it looks like crap, but just for fun and just to check to see what it is. I mean, I've never traded the stock before, but it seems like, and I'm right, XCNT shares trading higher after Medtronic announced that it will buy the company for $26.25 per share in cash. 28 or 26? That's 28. Either way, I mean, that's negligible either way, but just, buy out. It's not going to move. Found that to be pretty funny. I trust me there. I didn't load up the news before I started the meeting. I didn't know that in advance. Just anytime you see a stock gap up and flatten out like this, just you just guess buyout. All right, ETHX, another drag. I mean, a lot of these stocks were just not really moving after 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock even. They may have popped earlier, gapped up in pre-market, but this one joins the list. So ended up beginning to, kind of dump off here. I might just continue to pull back after the open. So I don't know. I'm kind of reluctant on this one too much, like the best trade. Kind of put this on the side. AUPH was a former runner years back, and I think it made a move, I don't know, maybe earlier this year, I think this was. I don't know, kind of spotty chart here otherwise. 108,000 shares up, almost 12%. That's good to see. Hopefully the order book fills in more, but again, not really showing me a whole lot here so far. I'd rather, kind of skip over this, on a slow Friday so far. The BYSI trade we had called out right off the pop. I was like skimming through my level 4, my book map. I'm just going from stock to stock on there, just really trying to make a call out, look for something. And then out of nowhere, this just kind of fell in my lap, like literally as it broke out over even 23. And then from that point, ended up making a nice little push up. I don't think there was news that came out. I did check on this one beforehand. I didn't really see anything. Nah, I don't have anything from pre-market this morning. So this stock clearly had made a pop and big move yesterday or 2 days ago at this point, right? Back from Wednesday this week, ended up making a big push in pre-market off of news. It was up 315% and it was shortable. Ended up dropping off early in pre-market. It was up as high as $45 at that point. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I got time. I'll show you. Why not tell you about it when I can just show you it? That's probably why, because I got to go back in my chart settings here just to go back a couple days here. Give me a quick second. But it's fun. I want to show you this here really quick. We got time. All right, so look what happened to this stock if you're unfamiliar. So early pre-market Wednesday morning, stock ended up going from like $5, that was even, all the way up to 25, and then through 25 all the way up to over 45. This stock was shortable. It was insane. Because, normally for a stock that's up 50%, 100% leading into the market open, you're expecting a pullback, a drop-off. And those stocks normally are hard to borrow. It's just not even worth thinking about. So, I was really hoping for this stock at the time to like really hold strong before the open and then dump. Because I'm not going to trade this thing in pre-market as much because the order book was so thin. I'd rather not risk it because, if you're on the wrong side of that trade in pre-market with no stop or any sort of risk management guideline, you're screwed. So, that's where I say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Stock ended up, dropping all the way back down to like $25 by the time the market opened up, it seems. Well, today, long story short, getting back to this, order book's going to be really thin on this stock. I'll slip it back on our list here, the BYSI, in hopes of another squeeze up. It still is shortable too, so if it completely drops and flops back down, then hey, it could be worth the trade. It was yesterday. All right, so we got a couple of earnings here otherwise, right? So it was like kind of slow pre-market up until 8:40-ish or 8:30 or so afterwards. But, we do have earnings. We have Plug from yesterday. We have Space from yesterday. We have, probably like everything. Like Beyond Meat, I see Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, ARWR, that is. I think GoPro slipping on that calendar there of mine. This morning, Plug, I think that we had NCLH, OCGN, DraftKings, CGC, you name it. If I missed anything else, let me know. But, Plug right now, definitely a stock that we're familiar with coming off of good earnings. And, just easily enough, we'll put this on our watch list. All right, see what else we got here. We'll kind of skim through here relatively quick. I want to make sure that we have enough time to chart, go through the level 3, the volume, and see, what levels are worth watching going into the market open. I only ended up prepping up the MVST so far myself. Oh, there's GoPro right below Plug on the gainers list right there. A bit of a spotty chart did pop in the after hours yesterday. You can see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be in play after the open. I'll pass on it for right now. Yeah, the Bitfarm trade, new stock. I think this stock, Bitcoin mining, and there's some news in relation to mining in particular, Bitcoin, all the other cryptos. We'll talk about that all in the afternoon, folks. As always, but. BITF definitely one to keep an eye on long term going forward. Not every day, but put it on your side list. Up 7.5 or 7+% so far, trading 200 plus thousand shares, and a bit of a spotty chart so far, but I don't mind keeping this on the side. All right, let's hop over to the losers list, see what we have on that side, and then we'll see if there's anything else that I missed. The ZNGA trade shortable, SPPI shortable. So we got a few here so far. Actually, damn, the whole losers list here really is easy to borrow. It's pretty interesting. This one's down big at least, and it is shortable. So if it ends up squeezing up towards, like a 250, 260-ish, and then rounds back down, it actually is worth the, opportunity as a short. So the SPPI, I'll put on our main list, and this actually is a decent option. Nah, this one not as much. AUD, just because it's shortable and down big doesn't mean I'm going to put it on our list, right? I don't know what this is about, but pass on it. ZNGA, another one that I think had earnings yesterday, or maybe this morning. I think yesterday, dropped in the after hours, you could see. I know it's going to have good liquidity on the book. Right now, at least there's an iceberg order on the bid even at 825. And like I said, it'll remain a tight spread stock going into the open and after. So I'll put it on. All right, so I'll ask in advance, folks, if there's anything else I missed up, down, left, right, more than 5%. That's the way I like to say it. Let me know in the chat boards, YouTube, Facebook Live, of course, for all of us inside the trading room. It looks like gold's down this morning, and just metals altogether. I'd reckon I see silver down too. JNUG, the miners. ZY down 7%, dropping off. Unfortunately, it's hard to borrow this morning. Back, I think 2 days ago, it was easy to borrow on my platform. Either way, I mean, it's still very active stock, and just because it's hard to borrow on my platform doesn't mean that it's hard to borrow on yours. So ZY, I'll put on our watch list too. We'll still have good volume on the book after the market opens, at least. All right, let me jump to YouTube first. All right, so I'll do you first then. Pun intended. Do you YouTube? All right, so Dan F. Nope, we got from Ian on YouTube. How about XELA running up to ATH? Now that would mean all-time highs, but I don't think that's all-time highs, is it? Nah, all-time highs. Nah, the stock. I mean, this thing's like really flat right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally do well on this stock. I have over the last month at this point, when it's been more active at least, and I love trading the stock. So if it was more active and worth our time, I'd put it on our watch list, but otherwise I'm not a huge fan of this. All right, and then he said also options expired today on AMC, and a huge put hedge getting unwound, so may float up to 40. So that is one that we can maybe kind of slip on our list at the end. It's always a side list stock at this point, AMC, and otherwise ended up making a bit of a push after. Well, it was more in the afternoon yesterday, right? Yeah, I know. Late morning got the push. I was tripping myself up there. It ended up breaking over 29.50 yesterday. Ran up just about 3 points. Did pretty nicely, and then from there made the move in the afternoon. Right, so yeah, that could be an interesting play after the market opens. It's up 1%, but after the open, if it ends up breaking back over 34, we'll probably call it out in our trading room. Ian, that's definitely one I'd keep more of an eye on, if anything. Brian said they had earnings. They had earnings too. Did I really not put AMC on the calendar for earnings? No, I don't see any earnings for AMC. At least yesterday. I don't know if it was more recent or maybe over the last week or two. All right, folks, I think that just about does it, though. I see everything else in the trading room. Not much else otherwise. Hood continues to be nuts today. Yeah, nuts is one thing, but otherwise I'm looking to make money. This did pop up pretty nice. Nice little squeeze up from 53.50 up to 58. So nuts in a good way, perhaps. Just, again, the order book's going to be very thin, and otherwise it's just I don't know. I don't expect this to keep squeezing up, at least today in short term. Let's see if there's any headlines, any news out on Robinhood. It's interesting because they said that they're going to report Q2 earnings on Wednesday the 18th after the close, but they just listed. So I don't know if it's going to be adjusted earnings or what, but we'll see. It's up 13%. Hell with it. I'll slip it on our list. I mean, hey, if you want to do the options on it, or if you're looking just to trade 1 or 2 shares on it, be my guest. But otherwise, I'm more interested in the cheaper ones. Not to say the ones that are like 5 and below necessarily, but at least the ones that are more worth my time, to where I could read the order book better, to where I could at least feel the stock out better and capitalize on it. All right, so for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I'll catch back with you folks later on today, this afternoon. So, just make sure that if you haven't had the chance to do so already, just make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, feel free to join us live inside our trading room. Just go right down to the link on the banner below just to get yourself started on a small trial. Otherwise, for all of us there right now, like Bonnie and Leda and Grant and Norman and Michael, I look forward to speaking with you folks coming up pretty shortly. I'll be back on the mic in just about 9-10 minutes from right now. Talk to you soon.